Have you ever stopped to wonder if everything you see, feel, and experience is just fake? Like living in a super advanced video game? It sounds crazy, but that's the mind-bending idea behind simulation theory. We're talking about the possibility that everything in the entire universe, from you and me to the stars, to even your pet goldfish, might be nothing more than a giant computer program. But is it really the case? Are we just NPCs in someone else's grand experiment? Let's dive down the rabbit hole and see how deep it goes. On the way, we'll crack the code, explore the mind-blowing evidence, and ask the big questions. What if it's all just a simulation? Get ready to have your reality questioned. The idea that our reality might be simulated has roots that stretch back far beyond modern technology. Ancient philosophical inquiries, such as those by Zhuangzi with his butterfly dream parable, pondered the nature of reality and the possibility of our lives being mere illusions. However, the contemporary framework for simulation theory as we understand it today was significantly shaped by the work of philosopher Nick Bostrom. In 2003, Bostrom published a paper that brought a structured argument to the table, suggesting that at least one of three propositions is true about our universe and our existence within it. Bostrom's simulation argument, or the simulation trilemma, presents the following possibilities. Technological limits. All civilizations in the universe reach a technological ceiling or self-destruct before being able to create reality simulating technologies. Ethical decision. Advanced civilizations have the capability to run simulations of their ancestors, but choose not to out of ethical considerations or for other reasons. We are in a simulation. If neither of the first two propositions is true, then we are almost certainly living in a simulation. This argument hinges on the idea of ancestral simulations, which are detailed recreations of a civilization's past, indistinguishable from reality to the simulated consciousness within. The logic follows that if it's possible to create such simulations and there's no barrier to doing so, then statistically it's almost certain we're living in one of many simulations. However, Nick Bostrom's work has not only popularized the simulation theory but also legitimized it as a subject of serious academic and scientific discussion. The implications of his argument extend into various fields, including even ethics. But we'll get to that a little later. For now, according to what Bostrom says, let's imagine a future where super smart folks or beings from a world we can't even picture decide to play back their entire history, just like rewinding their favorite movie. And guess what? They can make it as detailed as they want, from the big events like the World Wars to the secret thoughts of a historical figure. Nothing is off limits. Now, as we get better and better at making our own computer worlds and smart robots, it's also getting harder to tell what's real from what's made up. Our technology is growing so fast that soon, making these super detailed history games might not just be something we can do, it might be something we can't avoid doing. But as we piece together this puzzle, what about all those weird and unexplainable things like the spooky science of quantum mechanics or those strange moments of déjà vu? How do they all fit into the big picture of simulation theory? The idea that we might be living in a simulation has caught the attention of many smart people, from scientists to regular folks, making us wonder if what we see and feel is not as straightforward as we thought. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence supporting simulation theory, however, comes from the field of quantum mechanics. This is the science of the tiniest things in the universe, and it's shown us stuff that doesn't quite fit with what we used to think. Take the double-slit experiment, for example. It shows us that tiny things like electrons can act as both solid particles and waves, kind of like magic. They even change their behavior if someone's watching. which is super weird. It's like they're saying, "Hey, I know you're there." This has led some brainy folks to wonder if our universe works more like a video game than we ever imagined, with everything decided by whether someone's looking or not. Then there's this thing called quantum entanglement, which is another mind bender. It's when tiny particles become so close that if you do something to one, no matter how far away the other one is, it reacts at the same instant. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance because it's like the particles are texting each other instantly over any distance. This makes some people think that maybe, just maybe, there's some sort of cosmic programming making all this happen, kind of like the codes and connections that make video games work. Stepping outside the strict boundaries of science, stories, and shared experiences like the Mandela effect and feelings of déjà vu also hint at the same possibility. The former, or the Mandela effect, is when a bunch of people remember something happening that didn't actually happen. For instance, many folks think Nelson Mandela passed away in the 1980s while he was in jail, which isn't true. Some folks think these shared false memories are like bugs or system updates in a video game, where a tweak in the code messes with our collective memory. Then there's déjà vu, that weird feeling that you've already lived through something happening right now. Even though scientists say there are brain reasons for this feeling, those who like the idea of a simulation see it as a sign that the game we're living in has a little hiccup, or in simpler words, the simulation is having trouble loading our experiences correctly. Big names like Elon Musk and Neil deGrasse Tyson, getting in on the chatter, say there's a 50-50 chance the simulation theory is true. Nuclear physicist Zohra Davoudi suggests that cosmic rays, the high-energy particles that travel through space, might leave detectable signs if we are in a simulation. The idea is that if the universe is a simulation, there might be a limit to the energy that particles can have, similar to the resolution limit in video games and digital images. But not everyone's buying it. Some folks say this whole idea of living in a simulation is kind of like guessing in the dark rather than solid science. They think it's tough to test because it's all speculation. Sean M. Carroll, a big thinker in the world of space stuff, points out a tricky thing. If we're just normal and can't even figure out how to make conscious beings like us in a simulation, then the whole theory doesn't make much sense. Physicist Frank Wilczek says it's all too complicated to be a simulation. He wonders why anyone would go to all the trouble of making such a detailed fake world. It just doesn't add up, he says. Scientists also ponder the amount of computer power and the rules that would run a simulated reality. Others say there's a bit of a circular problem with it all. If what we know about how things work is based on a simulation, then using that to prove the simulation exists doesn't really work. Plus, some say this whole theory leans too much on imagining super fancy tech or super smart civilizations way ahead of us. Despite these arguments, the idea of living in a simulation is spreading like wildfire. But if we are living in a simulation, what does that mean for our concept of reality and consciousness? The philosophical debate on simulation theory, you see, centers around the nature of reality. In a simulated universe, reality isn't about physical stuff, it's all about data and information. This flips our usual understanding of consciousness on its head and could hint that consciousness might not be unique to living things but could be found in anything complex enough within the simulation. The ethical side of simulation theory raises some big questions about the responsibility of whoever's in charge of the simulation. If they can make a world so real we can't tell the difference, what's their duty to the people or whatever inside it? This gets into deep discussions about the rights and fair treatment of artificial beings, kind of like what we talk about with AI and virtual reality. Then there's the mind-bending stuff about consciousness and free will. If someone's controlling everything we do, what does that mean for our lives? These are the kinds of questions that keep us up at night. As we keep digging into simulation theory and deciding whether to buy into it or not, we're left scratching our heads with more questions than answers. So please feel free to jump into the comments below and share your thoughts. Whether you're not sure, totally convinced, or somewhere in the middle, your point of view is important to this ongoing conversation. Also, if you like the video, please consider subscribing and sharing so we can keep bringing more content like this. See you the next time.